Hey, what's happening? This your boy Rikishi, your WWE Hall of Famer. Check this out. I want you to keep it locked on Smart Tank Revolution. Don't touch that dial. Why? The big man said I back that ass up on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year from the SmarkTank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. I am your host, the tyrant of tangents, Mr. Donnie Wonderful, aka Big Time Donnie. And I've plugged this mic on to go on yet another tear, another tangent, more venting. This one comes from an interesting comment. Actually, I'm going to reference that comment now, but a little bit of the backstory. So there are the latest short that was posted to this channel, to our beautiful, lovely channel. I can't remember exactly where it came from. I think may have been the Rivals, the A&E Rivals show. Um Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. But there's a beautiful monologue in there. In my biased yet very accurate opinion, there's a beautiful monologue in this beautiful piece of cinematic master wonderfulness, whatever you want to call it, the cinematic masterpiece where Shawn Michaels says that Bret Hart was the better wrestler. So in jest, I just want to point this out. I do like Shawn Michaels. All right. It's not like I hated him then due to the Montreal screw job, and we were supposed to. But anything past 2002, actually, that's when I said, he still tapped into my nostalgia, and one of my favorite stories, success stories of wrestling, is when he did come back at SummerSlam 2002. All right, it's out there. All right, I like Shawn Michaels. Okay, I don't think he's a bad guy, but I am a Bret Hart fan, so I have to stay true. If this is a rivalry, I'm sticking on this side of the fence. A little back history. My mother, sister. Okay, so we're originally New Yorkers, right? But I'm a Red Sox fan, and I'm born and raised. No, that's not entirely true either. Raised here in Boston, Massachusetts, Titletown. Screw the Yankees. All right, I selected my allegiance. Just exactly what I did here. So, anyway, that a little snippet of that was posted, and we got some really good feedback and some logic from some of these comments that was left. One of them I read really triggered this thought process that I have about Mount Rushmores, and it comes from, and shout out to him. It comes from Kenny Mac 5135. Shout out to you, sir. I actually agree with well, not agree, but like it things that make you go, I had that moment when I was reading your comment. It says we don't need to argue that. This is what he says. We don't need to argue that. Pro wrestlers argue that all the time, and pretty much all of them have Shawn Michaels ahead of Bret Hart. In fact, if you ask a lot of wrestlers who's on their Mount Rushmore, you barely hear Bret Hart name. Can't say that about Shawn Michael though. Shawn Michaels though. All right. Absolutely, you definitely can though. So, and this comes from here at Smart Tank Revolution. My esteemed colleague, Mr. Joey Business, and I have talked with a plethora of wrestlers, and I can tell you from my interactions with wrestlers, when you ask them this question, because it's always a good debatable question. It's the MJ versus Kobe or the Kobe versus LeBron type deal. They have varying answers. And we here at Smart Tank Revolution replied back to that. And I'm going to allude to some of what was said in that reply now. So there are some biased, and I'm gonna be completely honest here. There's some biased, without naming any names. There's some biased opinions on that, especially when you compare the two, because back in, I guess, the first prime, because I cut HBK's career up in two primes. So the first prime would be, I want to say, from 94 to 1997. From 94 to 1997, that's Shawn Michaels' first prime, in which a lot of wrestlers didn't like him. So, there was a lot of politics being played. So if you have personal animosity towards Shawn Michaels, then obviously you're going to go with Bret. And most people hated Shawn Michaels and they liked Bret because of backstage politics, policies, influences, whatever you want to call it. I.e., for instance, and I've want to preface, I've never talked to Shane Douglas at all. Met him one time in 2012, I believe, in Springfield, Massachusetts. But we were in, at that point, we were in no media capacity to talk to him. That was just, a casual meeting. But if you were to ask Shane Douglas, who do you think is better? And I'm pretty sure he's answered that question somewhere. I mean, we can search YouTube and find it, but I'm pretty sure, given his real life heat or animosity with HBK at that time, I don't know if they're cool now, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna lean more towards a Brett. And he'll give you because Shane Douglas is very astute in the knowledge of professional wrestling and what it entails. So he'll give you a smart answer, a very wise and intelligent answer with sound logic. But I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some animosity sprinkled on that blunt you're about to roll up and smoke. So, you know, I say that to say this. What am I actually saying? Let's get straight to it. So, Kenny Mack mentioned wrestlers on Mount Rushmore. This is what I'm talking about today. So I actually pondered about this long, long, and my um my conclusion about a Mount Rushmore is, to be fair, you would have to cut them up in decades. I think that'll be better. So you have the 90s, excuse me, the 2000s, the 2010s, and I know we're in 2024, but I guess the 20s would be within the past 4 years. And I think that they're all interchangeable. The thumbnail that I have up here in the description and that you're likely looking at is The Undertaker. I think there's Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart. This art is phenomenal. That's the only reason why I have it up here. I don't have this order as a Mount Rushmore, but if you wanted to say that this was your Mount Rushmore, it would be respectable, especially for, I guess, the 90s. But let's actually talk about this. And the reason why I say it, because I recently recalled Hulk Hogan giving his opinion on who's on his Mount Rushmore, and he had, you can't forget Bruno, the greatest champion of all, Andre the Giant for what he's done for the business, and he's right. You can't omit him. You can't omit these guys. Like today, if you ask any smart within 30 years of age, they're not going to have a Bruno Sammartino. They're not going to have an Andre the Giant. But I understood why Hogan had those guys, and he prefaced it with, "You can't leave these guys off," and that's important coming from a huge wrestling figure such as Hulk Hogan. So let's do it like this, right? Let's say the 80s, right? So in the 80s, your Mount Rushmore. Uh, uh, um Andre the Giant, okay. We're gonna reel in Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, and who else? Who would be your fourth? Steamboat, Savage. Um, who are we forgetting? There's always going to be somebody that's omitted and that's forgotten, and that is a miscarriage of justice, to quote the late Gorilla Monsoon. So, Bruno, Andre, Hogan, undeniably what the Hulkster did for wrestling. Really, really put him on the map. And who's the fourth? You guys got to tell me. And this is the '80s. Who belongs up there in the fourth? All right. I want to say mm, you can go. Oh man. Um, what Superstar Billy Graham? Maybe I don't. No. Ooh, sorry, Dusty. Dusty. Okay. Yeah. So the '80s. I'm going. Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino. He gets reeled in. Hulk Hogan and Dusty Rhodes. Oh God. Mm, sorry. Damn. How can I forget Ric Flair? And that's another thing. So Ric Flair can you can spread Ric Flair across maybe 4 decades. I think he'll be on the overall one, and I'll try to get to that if I remember. Damn, how do I leave off Flair? All right, so the '90s. Okay, so this is my coming of age. All right, so the '90s, Hulk Hogan still reigns supreme here. Um, Stone Cold and The Rock for what they really did in the Attitude Era. And then, I mean, I'm biasedly gonna put Bret Hart up there because he out of those four, he's the best wrestler, and him and the Undertaker is 1 and 1A, and Steve Austin's like 1C. And I don't think The Rock would take offense to saying that, hey, these guys were better than me, even though The Rock is literally like 1D in here, in this arrangement of wrestlers, I think. Um, yeah, Undertaker, Stone Cold. Oh no, not Undertaker. Hogan's still there. God. All right, so damn, the '90s again. Oh man, how am I gonna leave my boy off the Mount Rushmore of the '90s? Okay, so let's pull the Undertaker off. Hogan, Rock, Austin, Brett for the '90s. Only and I'm basing this solely off the WWF years slash WWE years. So now let's go. Oh, and just that promotion really. So just WWF and WWE right now. So now we're in the 2000s. So now I guess here is the official WWE. So now that we're in the 2000s, the 2000 Rushmore for this decade, 2000 to 2009, Undertaker, um, John Cena, HBK, and the fourth. Can you put Triple H up there? What do you guys think? Triple H? Um, if not Triple H, then who? Who am I missing? Who am I missing? You guys, let me know. I mean, technically, I know this is this is a reach, but I've never seen Booker T ever have a bad match. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Never seen Booker T ever have a bad match. Um, Kurt Angle, outside of Baron Corbin. Sorry, Baron, you're my boy, but nobody wanted to see that last match at WrestleMania. Yeah. So we gotta leave off Kurt in the 2000s. That's ooh, that's kind of rough. But who would you take off? Um, Shawn Michaels was in his second prime. Undertaker, I think, arguably is the greatest wrestler because he's never claimed it, and he has every right to claim it. And this is coming from a Bret Hart fan. Who else did I say? John Cena. If you want to take John Cena off the 2000s, you definitely have to put him in in the 2010s. So I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll take Cena off there just to add Kurt, and then we go into 2010s. Okay, the Mount Rushmore for this for the last decade. Um, okay, John Cena, easy. Um, CM Punk, right? Um, ooh, it's Getting kind of hectic in here. Is it too early to add Roman? Technically, I mean, like, that was the decade in which he debuted, but he was also being forced, and Vince was really pushing him to the moon. So, like, he has an historic title reign now, but that began in 2020. So, I would definitely say the current Mount Rushmore is going to begin with Roman Reigns. So he makes that. But in the 2010s, Cena, CM Punk, um, Randy Orton has every right to be there. Every right to be there. And who? The fourth is a question mark. I have no idea. I have no idea. Should Brock Lesnar be there? You know? Should he? Hmm. You guys tell me. And then, who's your Mount Rushmore over the past 4 years? Roman Reigns is definitely there. And I think you can also say Randy Orton should still be in the Mount Rushmore right now. Um, we can look at AJ Styles, and it's still early though. it is it is still early. Part of me wants to say Cody, definitely. Part of me wants to say Cody. So yeah, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and oh wait a minute. Yeah, yeah, it's still early. But anyway, so the overall now, here's where it gets kind of tricky here. The overall Mount Rushmore is gonna leave off a ton of people, right? I don't think you can leave off Hulk Hogan. I don't think you can leave off Stone Cold Steve Austin. And when you mention Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have to have The Rock there too. All right. Now these were the most popular wrestlers in all each of their primes. Um, so now that fourth spot, I'm gonna go with my boy. My opinion, the greatest wrestler to ever lace a pair of boots. I told it to himself. I said it to the man himself. Bret the Hitman Hart. Does anyone have a problem with my Mount Rushmore? If you do, let me know in the comments. And let me know what you guys think. Once again, Happy New Year from the SmarkTank Revolution. And I promise I'm cutting this mic on anytime I feel like I have something to get off my chest. And I'm always going to kick out at 2. So thanks for listening if you made it this far. Happy New Year once again. Thanks to all our new subscribers. Go back and watch the essentials and just listen to how we rank our wrestlers so you'll understand the thought process that we have when we're looking at this thing called sports entertainment or professional wrestling that we like. And we promise that we will keep this channel loaded with new, fresh material for you all to enjoy. Thank you. Donnie Wonderful, signing out.